Our story thus far. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and it was good. Adam was the first man, but he was lonely, so God made Eve to be a mate. They had a paradise with only one rule, and they broke it, the first sin, and it was not good. But God gave them another chance, 2.0, just much harder this time. Then came Cain and Abel, the first sons. Cain was jealous, so he murdered his brother. Then came many people who lived a long time, and they pretty much did their best to forget about God and His Word. In fact, they did such a good job of being evil that God finally gave up and hit the big reset with the flood. All was not good. But God found one man, Noah, and his family, who were actually living a good life. So He had Noah build an ark and save his family and all the animals. All the animals. That's a lot of animals. After Noah, the people followed God again for a while. God made His covenant with Abraham, and then with Jacob, and so on. Then Joseph's brothers sold him into slavery. But Joseph kept his faith with God, and eventually became the second in command of all of Egypt. Yes, the Egypt. And his brothers had to come to him and ask for food. He saved the land and brought his father and brothers to live in Egypt, where they did prosper, and it was good. Then 600 years later, along comes a Pharaoh who was afraid of the Hebrews, so he made them slaves and killed all the baby boys. Well, almost all. Moses was saved and raised by Pharaoh's daughter. After killing an Egyptian for beating a Hebrew slave, Moses fled. But God came to him in a burning bush and told him to go back to Pharaoh and say, "Let my people go," which he did, and Pharaoh didn't. So God brought a series of plagues on Egypt until finally the angel of death passed over Egypt and killed every firstborn in the nation except the Hebrews. So Pharaoh let them go, and then changed his mind and chased them up to the Red Sea, where God parted the waters and Moses and the children of Israel passed through, but Pharaoh and his army did not quite make it. Then God gave Moses the 10 Commandments, which the people broke. They wandered for 40 years, and Joshua brought them into the Promised Land. They followed God, but then they did not follow God. They were punished, defeated, and God would raise a judge to save them again and again and again. Deborah, Gideon, Samson, and so on and so on. About this time, Naomi and Ruth come along, and Ruth falls in love with Boaz, and it was very good. Finally, the people asked for a king, and God said, "Okay, but you won't like it." And the people said, "We don't care, give us a king." So He did, and it was not good. Then comes along a young boy with a slingshot and a harp, David, and it was good. And that is the story thus far.